Good afternoon and welcome to this afternoon show. We got an early live today. I hope everybody is doing well. And please share the live as you come in. Share the live as you come in. I want to give you guys an update from the live we had yesterday. Yesterday, I shared about some of the news I was hearing with the Biden program, but I wasn't really sure if that is true. And today I can confirm and speak on it more because I've had it where someone close to me have experienced the same thing. So, guys, welcome to the show once again. Salut tout le monde et moi souhaite que nous tout a passé une belle journée. So, as I wait to get you guys in, I want to quickly run across you all that we are working diligently, guys, in the background to start the Learning Center. Don't forget, guys, to please support the Learning Center. We are unable to do it by ourselves. I am not able to do it by myself. Yes, we have accomplished certain milestones. So I'm asking you guys to please join me as we continue to make a difference by donating towards the GoFundMe, guys. It's a long-term plan. Us doing the GoFundMe is not something that's just for one day. It is something that our hope is we are establishing it for eternity, and pray that we have a structure set up in the background that long after I am gone, that Life in Haiti Kids Learning Center will continue. Some of you guys may have questions in reference to if you would like a tax write-off. If you would like a tax write-off, guys, you are able to get a tax write-off. I know that I have peers that work with me that can tell you more, but we are a legal organization. We are just working to get some things together, but we are a legal organization, guys, working to do better things here. So find it in your heart. I know you guys haven't been seeing me doing much as far as working in the community, but that's because we're getting something started on our own. I am told that we already have some kids, guys. You will get to see everything. It's gonna be a pleasure to share with you guys every day what we have going on and what we are doing. So how's it going? Auto 718, welcome to the live. How's it going? Please share the live, guys, as you come in. Don't forget to share the live. Please share the live. I see that we have a $1.49 super chat. Thank you so much. MK Ultra, thank you so much for the $1.49 super chat. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys that support this channel. As a creator, I just want to tell you guys, I thank you so much beyond words for your support, for your love, for sharing the channel, and for helping this channel to continue to grow. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the love, MK Ultra. So we got news yesterday that how many of you guys are waiting on your family members either to be approved, to get their approval to travel? You're waiting on good news for your family member to come to the United States to join you, and it's been a while, but you're waiting. And a lot of people here have sold everything they have, are basically just sitting in a corner waiting on that confirmation to get that travel pass, to purchase the ticket, and to leave out of here in Haiti. That's almost 100% of Haitian people dream, it seems, is to leave out of Haiti. Unanimous, how's it going? I'm doing well. That is almost 100% of Haitian people dream is to leave out of Haiti, and not only leave out of Haiti, but they rather to leave out to be to the United States, because for some reason a lot of Haitian people think that if you're not going to America, you really have not traveled. Well, I want to report that yes, guys, a lot of people have gotten bad news from the Biden program. I know this, and I always speak on things that if either I tell you guys, I don't know all the facts surrounding it, but if I speak on it, that's because somebody close to me have experienced it, or something is going on that I can verify. So I have 3 people that I know for a fact have been waiting about 6 months. Oh, rest in peace to OJ. I've that's been waiting about 6 months, and that kind of like disturbed me hearing OJ passed away. I saw something about OJ, but I did not actually zoom into it. But these 3 people have been waiting about 6 months to travel to the United States. And I know 1 or 2 that's been waiting about a year to travel to the United States. And they received emails stating that they were not confirmed. Now, I know a lot of you guys that's watching, you may have, a little bit more details on the Biden program, but does not confirm means that you are completely not approved. I want to say yes, it does, okay? Because I know that's a question that Haitian people, some of them had. I don't want to put people names really out there. Hold on a second, guys, because let me do this so that their names is not on there. So I can show you guys a copy in reference to how. Welcome to the live, guys. Don't forget to please share the live. You may get an email like this. Where it says, case not confirmed. Ou gen nou a te jwen un email qui dit kon sa ke case la pas confirmed. You got an email that said the case is not confirmed. I know that this has been bad news for a lot of people. I hear that around 80,000 people in Haiti were disapproved. For a reason, they don't really tell you what the reason is in detail. It is USCIS. I don't think they really owe anyone much of an explanation. They could just say no because they choose to say no. Welcome to the live. Welcome. They can say no because they choose to say no. Welcome to the live.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. we're already started here talking about the Biden program, how many Haitian people have been disapproved and highly disappointed because at the beginning it seemed as if a ton of people were leaving and there was absolutely not many disapproved people. And now all of a sudden, 80 to 90,000 people, I'm not sure if they are all Haitians, were disapproved for the Biden program. So please share the live, guys. Share the live. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel. Shout out to Unanimous, Auto 718, MK Ultra, Marie Javier. Welcome, Stallion. I hear a back like a echo. Do you have like maybe a fan on you or something?
No.
Okay. How's it going? And welcome to the live tonight.
Can you still hear the echo?
Not right now, I don't.
Okay, I think it's when I have it sitting up on a prop. Let me do one other thing here. Let's see if this works. Oh, that's not going to work either. Let me try one more time. Is it echoing? Is it echoing
yes,
now?
Yes, it's still echoing.
Okay, that's when I have it sitting on. Okay, I'm trying to put it stable where I'm gonna have to hold it where I could talk to you, but that's fine. I'll figure out a way next time.
All righty. I think that because you always come on the show with me, you might need a selfie stick. So that way, you just put it on a selfie stick and it just, you can position it to, and they're not really expensive.
Yeah, I think if it doesn't hit the, let me see, let me try this. Am I echoing?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not right now.
It's where the microphone's at when it's touching the surface, and that's where it's at. But I'll know what to do next time. But we're good. We're good.
Awesome. So we're talking about many Haitians being disqualified for the Biden program. Why do you think that they disqualify so many Haitians at one time when at the beginning, not one Haitian person or sponsor was disapproved? And now all of a sudden, everybody is disapproved almost.
Well, I mean, the answer that people like to feed into, because I'm a pragmatic and I'm a realistic about stuff. The emotional response would be, it's only Haitians. They're the only ones that have been disapproved for everything and anything in the world. Okay, that's the red meat that you feed. That one would feed. Okay, not you particularly, but would feed. Let's look at it. I'm not disagreeing with they've been disapproved, but I would like to know how many Venezuelans were disapproved, how many Nicaraguans, how many of the Cubans. My instincts tell me that I think they're doing it with everybody because of the political backlash that's going on here in the States. That's what I really think. Now, if we could say something else at a percentage, in other words, if you have 5,000 Haitians that apply for it, 5,000 Venezuelans and equal, and 4,099, Haitians are disqualified, but yet they're letting half the other ones in, then obviously that's going to be an issue. So I think, without looking into it a little bit further, I think they might be doing it with the others. And I just know what's going on politically here right now. And Biden's getting a lot of pressure and a lot of pushback, even with his own party about this whole thing.
Well, I know that if they cross into the United States illegally, then they would automatically not be approved or processed for the program. But that's why I mentioned I'm not sure exactly the numbers, because what I am being told is that it is between 80 to 90,000 Haitian people that were disapproved, but then that could have been biased information as well, because it is not publicized how many Venezuelans and Cubans, Nicaraguans that's in the program were disapproved.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We need to, it's something that needs to be kind of researched to see. Now if it comes out, we can find some information on it, and it comes out that that is in fact the case, which it could be. Then we need to kind of, look at it from a different perspective and say, why are Haitians being excluded, and they're letting all these other countries and the people come in there? Obviously, then that's going to be an issue. But we always got to look at what I call the macro, not the micro.
Mm-hmm. Let's go into the audience. Have you heard O.J. Simpson passed away? Not to get off the subject.
Yeah, yeah.
What happened?
They said he had cancer. Is what at least that's what CNN's saying. Yeah, that was yeah. I think I think with OJ, I think he had a Jekyll and Hyde mentality. To be honest, in my personal opinion, yeah, he was a nice guy on the surface, very friendly, very personable, and everything. And there's people like that in this world. Get him behind closed doors or other settings, he turns into a monster. Yeah, that's my personal opinion.
Wow. O.J. Simpson, the former football great who was accused of and ultimately acquitted of the brutal 1994 slayings of his ex-wife and her friend, has died. According to his family, he was 76. On April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asked that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. In May 2023, Simpson posted a video on X, then known as Twitter, revealing that he had recently caught cancer and had to do the whole chemo thing. He added, "It looks like I beat it." Simpson didn't specify the nature of this cancer. Then, February 2024, a Las Vegas television station reported that then 76-year-old was again undergoing treatment for an unspecified cancer. Simpson himself posted a video on X that day denying rumors that he was in hospice care, though he did not otherwise confirm or deny reports that he was ill. 2 days later, in another video update on X, Simpson thanked those people he said had reached out to him, adding, "My health is good. I mean, obviously, I'm dealing with some issues, but I think I'm just about over it." Simpson, nicknamed the Juice, broke records. Wow, this is really, really long. I don't want to bore, but rest in peace to Simpson. And as him and his family go through this hard time, death is never something that's welcoming.
Right.
Yeah, everybody have someone who loves them. Faith is welcome to the live. Let's go into the audience today. We will also talk about, kind of get a different point of view from the show yesterday. I wanted to invite you on the show yesterday, but on here we are only limited to having one guest at a time. And we can have several people on the panel. But yesterday we talked about Haitians living in the DR and how life is there. And I had a ton of emotional people. We're going to get into that as we get the show started. So, guys, don't forget to please share the live. Please share the live, guys, as we are getting into the live. OJ Simpson, nicknamed the Juice, famous. MK said triple canopy has also assisted in humanitarian operations, including Russian aid and supplies to Haiti in 2010 following a catastrophic earthquake. Hi, Marie and LIH family. I hope you're doing well. My condolences to the Simpson family. Don't forget, guys, please share. Please share the live. Good afternoon, Marie and LIH family. Good afternoon, Faith is. Parent company was sold to Apollo Global Management in 2007. The triple acquired. Jim says, I agree with your guest. Emotions are running high over the migrant issue. Haitians are not necessarily the target of hostility, but people are angry. Black folks are not supportive. Do you think that Black folks are not being supportive with the migrant situation, that's why things are turning left for a lot of migrants, especially Black migrants?
Well, can you hear me? Am I echoing or am I okay?
No, I hear you well.
Okay, that's the yeah. I have it propped up where the microphone's in an open. But anyways, let's not look at things from a black and white perspective. Let's look at it from an economic perspective. The people that are the most angry, and it's not just with Haitians coming in or people from African countries, um, or yeah, anybody else for that matter. This is an economic thing, and I've said this for years. It's about the green man. The green man is what rules everything. That means money. In the United States, we have green bills. That's really the ruler and the determination of people, a lot of people's behaviors, anxiety, and so forth. So if you look at it from that perspective, then you got to look at the demographics. Who are the ones? What group of people are in low wage jobs? Anybody that's in a low wage job here in this country is probably going to be upset. Why? We seen the example with Tyson Foods, which on Philly Dom's channel, I called it out 6 months earlier as an example. It actually was the company that actually did it. They went and laid off a bunch of workers at one facility, and now they're going to hire a lot of migrants that got work permits at another lower wage. So the people that are angry are the ones that impact their jobs and their livelihood, and that could come in any nationality, anybody else. The ones that aren't really saying anything about it, really, and I said this on Philly Dom's channel, is the ones that are happy to see this are these companies that have low wage positions, the Tyson Foods, the Marriott hotels, all these other places. They can't fill these jobs. This is like a dream come true to them, and they're the ones that are not saying anything. And again, we're going to look, and I don't know if I mentioned this on your channel or not, but let's look at the big picture. And I don't like getting political or anything, but I'm just going to call it as I see it, or what at least my opinion is. Let me put it that way. I think there's a master plan in place, and the master plan, quote unquote, is to get as many migrants that can be with this party that we have in office right now, get them work permits issued. All right. The companies love that because they can go ahead and hire all these people and don't have to pay $20 an hour. They can pay 15. Let's just say using that as an example for a lot of these jobs, right? That they and what the short game is for the companies itself. Now, if we look at some of these company CEOs and these executives may be they may be the other party supporters, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a hidden agenda here. There's an unholy alliance, and what that is they know better, and they support what's going on right now because they have to adhere to stockholders. Okay, Tyson Foods is a publicly traded company. It doesn't matter what those guys believe. The CEO and vice presidents and all these big executives, they might have banners of the other party posted in their house. I mean, whatever they're doing, but it's in their best interest of the stockholders to support this. because the more money they make as a company, the more stockholders are going to get in shares, when they're dividends and everything. So the short game is bring them in, get them work permits, as many as you can, get them to take the jobs that as Americans wouldn't do for the salary they're willing to pay. The long game would be at some point, depending if Biden gets back into office, assuming he will, that he's gonna have some sort of resolution with the Congress to get them green cards on their way to citizenship. Now, from that perspective, 4 years after down the road, not now, but I'm talking about the next political cycle, 2008, 2028. Now these individuals have a right to vote. Some of them may be U.S. citizens. Some may get married to Americans, whatever may happen, right? At that point, they have eligibility to vote. Now, which way do you think most of them are going to vote? They could be conservative in their home countries, but there's a certain alliance, there's a certain loyalty to say, well, wait a minute, it was the Democratic Party, the one that got me here. They're the ones that backed me to get my work permits. They're the ones that gave me an opportunity that I wouldn't have had before, especially under Trump. So which way am I going to vote for the 2028 election? Even if you have a conservative philosophy, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are going to vote for the Democrats. So that's why I see there's a short game and the long game. So from that perspective, that's the way you got to look at it. The people that are angry, to get back to your original comment, the ones that are most angry are the ones that have the direct impact on their jobs and their livelihood. And those are the lower income workers. Now we can say, are they all minority? Maybe. I don't know. I don't have any statistics on it. But I just say it's an economic issue. It's not a race issue.
So do you think that disapproving a lot of migrants at a time that's fragile like this for the Biden administration, do you think that that's a good move for him with migrants that he is hoping to get votes from?
Well, he's getting pressure. You have to understand something. When people within your own party are pressuring you, it's not in this case the Republicans. He's getting pressure from within. Yeah, he could care less really about what he's doing right now, how the Republicans feel. For good or bad or indifferent. I'm just talking. But when you're getting pressure from your own constituents, your own representatives, go down there along the Texas border, along where the Texas and Mexico meet. A lot of those areas, a lot of them are Democratic, have Democratic congressmen that are in those districts along that area, right? Those individuals are complaining, because it's affecting their district. It's personally affecting their district, so from that end of it, and a lot of those really are Latinos to start with. So they're Latino descent in that area. So if they're complaining and they're part of the same party, that those are his supporters. Those are the people that they're going to back him and get their constituents to. So Biden's smart enough to know, hey, I'm starting to lose support in certain communities in certain parts of the country because of this. I need to shut the spigot off. You know, had he not got the pressure, I think he would have continued personally. But we're coming up on election time now, so the spigot's getting turned off. To let migrants in, do something about it one way or the other. Yeah, the Congress is not going to pass anything. They're all in there. They all have their personal agendas. Any executive power that he can do at this point, he's going to try to turn that spigot off for now. And he got what he could coming in. Let's get the agenda is get the work permits issued, and hopefully, if he gets back into office, there'll be he can buy time, and maybe he has a Democratic Congress next session. It's already a thin margin as it is, and at that point, they're going to pass some sort of amnesty, to let these individuals stay, or at least have a chance of staying after they're vetted through. They got to be vetted to make sure for criminal records and whatever else is needed, whatever their criteria is. But that's going to be the long game. I mean, that's the way I see it. I'm just connecting the dots at this point.
You mentioned earlier it's an economic thing. Yesterday we talked about Haitians living in the DR. Do you think that economically maybe the people don't want foreigners because somehow they feel. I'm gonna use, for example, Haitians. When they go to the Dominican Republic, they would do a job for a lot cheaper than a Dominican would. A Mexican, as an example, in Texas or California would do a job a lot cheaper than an American would. Do you think that that could be the problem or the hostility that many citizens have in these countries towards foreigners, visitors coming in and wanting to stay?
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. I mean, and I keep in mind, I've been to the Dominican Republic several times, and I seen firsthand, which we talked offline. I gave you one example of a person I knew personally that was Haitian. What happened with them. Um, so I think the hatred's always going to be there. Regardless. There's always going to be people who are going to be envious or some sort of way of thinking. Maybe it was embedded within the family, to teach them, to hate a certain group, so forth and so on. That's always going to exist. Now, could the temperature be brought down in the Dominican Republic the way the actions they're doing? Yeah. How would that happen? And I said this, I think, on one of your lives before. Somebody mentioned it in the chat last night, and I couldn't disagree with it. I'm on when I'm playing the role as a monitor. I'm looking for the offhand remarks and stuff like that. But if you're speaking facts or something that makes sense, we may not agree with it, but it is what it is. And one of the things that I do know of the DR that there's a lot of Haitian women that do come over and have their children over in the DR hospitals, and I know that's been a drain on their resources in itself. Now, that drives some of the things like, okay, they're not residents here and they're using our facilities and they don't have any money to pay for any of this. So the people of that country do. Charity runs out at some point. And this isn't something that started yesterday. This has been going on for years over there. But I think the people and the government are at a breaking point. It's like we're not getting anything to offset this. So the only other action is to act out, which are doing stuff wrong, which I've been talking about, throwing them in the back of a pickup truck and or a bus and a dump truck and then, I'm exaggerating now, get to the border with a dump truck and then say, at the bridge, let the people just roll out of the truck and tell them to go back over the border. I mean, that's the inhumane part. And they don't there's a way to do things, and obviously the way the Dominicans have been enacting how they treat Haitians is out of balance, and all that's a given. I mean, to do something like that, I mean, that's nuts what they're doing. But that's the reaction that happens. You get frustrated over time, and then you start acting out in a different way. So I don't think that's their normal. I don't think that's their embedded behavior with a lot of those Dominicans. But I think it's a reaction to the inaction of anybody helping them out. And I think I've said before that the U.S. were to come in and somebody were to come in and offset some of those costs. When we take in refugees here in the United States, and I'll just give you an example. When we back in the 90s, there was this big civil war in Somalia. Okay, the United States, and that was under the Clinton administration, gave refugee status to Somalians. The city I'm living in is the second largest population of Somalis in the country, next to Minneapolis. We gave them all the social services and refugee status and everything else. Okay, so at the very least, if the U.S. is not going to do what they need to do because it's this other country, at the very least they can give funding to that country to offset some of those costs. So that brings down the temperature of some of the behaviors that go on there. That's my opinion of what I think would resolve. I think it's economic. Is it the only solution? No. Is there going to be situations where you're going to have people that acting out against Haitians over there? Absolutely. Is it going to continue? Yes, but not to the extent that it's going right now.
Someone made a comment, done read of yesterday, that the Dominican Republic could have never gotten away with the treatment they have given to the Haitians without the support and approval from the US and other Latin American entities. Thank you so much, Dunred, for this comment. Do you think that because the United States have been pretty quiet to me towards the treatment of Haitians in the Dominican Republic? And I'm a we're not going to even go there yet, but do you think that, as Dunred mentioned, that the Dominican Republic feels okay to do what they do because the US and other Latin American entities basically appease what's going on and their treatment of Haitians in their country?
Well, let's go back in time here. I know some people may have amnesia, but let's go back a couple years back when the Dominican passed a law saying it was a way to justify to remove Haitians out of the Dominican Republic, saying if you weren't born here before 1921, you have to go. So in other words, you might have 2, 3 generations of Haitians that have been lived in the Dominican Republic 40, 50, 60 years, and all of a sudden they said, nah, you know, catch them, throw them in the back of a pickup truck, and take them to the border. Now, remember that when that happened, there was a lot of backlash, including the United States. They had pressure. The Dominican government had pressure to reverse that or not implement what they were going to do. I remember this clearly. What happened because there were people that had never been to Haiti that were Haitian descent that were thrown back across the border. I mean, their family's been over Dominican Republic for 60, 70 years. So I don't think that's the culprit. I think it's an internal problem, because the United States and everybody else, if let's just say that they're quiet, let's just take that road, that path. What is the United States going to do other than threaten the Dominican Republic and say we're going to do X, Y, Z? I mean, they could do that, but the thing is that it's more of an internal issue. Now, what the United States could do, in my opinion, is offset some of the cost of what's going on with the situation there, like the hospitals. And at that point, they could put strings attached, saying, "Okay, we're going to do X, Y, Z. We understand what's going on here. The Haitians are draining resources here. Get that. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the deal. We're going to go ahead and we're going to fund some of this stuff, however they want to do it to offset the cost. However, you are not going to go and deport people without due process. Period. You're going to go through a process to remove them like anybody, like any other human being. If you violate that, then we're talking about a different ball game now. Yeah, then we could look at sanctions and threats and everything else to pressure them. But I really think this is an economic thing that drives the behavior. Because keep in mind, Dominican Republic's not a first world nation. They're a poor country too. They just happen to have more money than Haiti, and the reason why is because they have so many. The tourism is so high there. People like me come in there and spend money, thousands of dollars. Every year, every other year when I go. Hey, they're propped up in that respect because of tourism. That's a lot of their income that they're getting in there. So
Do you not think that by the US appeasing to send funding to Dominican Republic and assistance for Haitians, that wouldn't set off another set of problems for them? Because now you don't think that a lot of Haitian people will start feeling entitled, feeling as if they now have money for them. And we do have a mentality that can, be very not so pragmatic within our nation. Do you think that Haitians now wouldn't feel too entitled to our neighbor's home?
well, let's look at this from a pragmatic standpoint. The example I gave was a hospital. Are we saying that somebody would feel entitled because they're getting basic medical services? In my opinion, I'd say no. Now, if they were coming over there to the United States, for sending money to get them brand new cell phones, to pay their rent for 6 months, to do different things, it didn't. We're talking about a different ball game now. But we're talking about basic services. Now, how far do you extend that? That's a different story. I mean, the only other thing I could think of that, that would be something that they should be investing in there would be maybe investing in some sort of trade programs in the DR, where Haitians could learn a trade and then, assimilate into their economy. Now, it's going to bring down the wages for the Dominicans because you're going to have more people doing work for less. But again, they're getting some of their costs offsetted by other areas. I mean, when these individuals come over for medical services, that takes money away from other services that the Dominican Republic can do, whether it be roads, schools, or whatever else. They have to reallot some of that money from somewhere. So again, you got to look at it from a economic standpoint. It's easy to say, yeah, because they're dark skinned, they're Haitian, this and that. Yeah, we'll just blanket the whole thing. Granted, there's going to be people that are going to think that way regardless. But I'm saying is money soothes the savage beast and the mindset. I think we talked about on one of your lives about the internal issues there within Haiti. You know, money. Once your belly's full and you're working and everything else, you're not likely to do some of the stuff that we see going on, whether it's over there in the Dominican Republic or over in Haiti. I mean, that's just a reality. So we got to look at it from a different perspective. There's a point of responsibility, yes. When you start handing them free food, free cell phones, free electricity, free this, free that. That's where we get to the
But
entitlement.
basically, that's what you'll be doing because it would encourage a lot more Haitians to bombard them. And now they'll be, I think, that's just my opinion, they will be going there and you would have to find a way to provide them with basic needs, electricity, yada yada. That would all be a part of it.
Well,
Um, mhm.
yeah, but I'm not saying that. Let's give an example here. What I'm referring to: a woman's pregnant up there in Haiti. Okay, we know the situation over in Haiti. All right, we know that they come over to the Dominican Republic in order to have their child to get some basic medical services. Yeah, those are humanistic services at that point. That we all should be human first before we go into the other parts of this. Now, that person could have the child, and at that point, they're required to go back over into Haiti. And if they want, they could have a bus sitting out there. And after the woman's had her child, and after she provides some basic services, okay, it's time to go. We're going to take you back over to the border. We're going to, we're going to provide you transportation, food, whatever it is to get over to that point, and you go back over. There's a way to do it. It's humane. You know, Now if somebody comes over just to get away, comes over across the border, then we're looking at a different situation. You know, we're looking at a situation where, okay, we need to do this humanely. And if we want to, the Dominicans can't have it both ways. These small companies that hire Haitians to do the work for half the rate, they can't benefit in one hand, but yet after they're done, with their use, we'll put them on a dump truck and take it back over across the border. It can't have it both ways. It's got to be one or the other. So the thing is, either they're going to be issued work permits so they can work there and pay whatever taxes need to be paid, or number two, if they want to deport them, that's fine. But there's a legal process you go through to do it, not the way they're doing now, because again, it's going to get to the point where they are going to get pressure from the outside. The way some of the stuff that they're doing now, and like I said, I've seen this firsthand, and I know this personally because the person I know it was Haitian that they caught. The person was going to the store to buy food, and of course, the immigration truck rides through with a bunch of guys with pop guns sitting in the back, you know, and they say, "Hey, there you go. Where's your ID at?" Well, the person's visa was expired, obviously. They took the person's money, like other Haitians that I know that they did the same thing to. Whoever's is, that's their tip. That's their finder's fee for capturing somebody. So they take their money, they take them in the truck, process them however they do, and they drop them off at the border. Now, obviously, you know, no, that's not cool. There's a due process, and you don't take their money either. You know, so, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, and I know that's true for a fact because I personally know somebody that's happened to. So, and I'm looking at it from an outsider. You know, I'm the Italian stallion. I'm not Dominican or Haitian, so I'm looking at it from a third party and looking in and seeing what it for what it is. So there's issues on both sides, but it has to be mediated.
Someone said that having the guy on the show last night was a setup, and the person said this was a setup call. That guy does not live in the Dominican Republic. I swear I could tell how he talks, which really didn't make any sense to me, because if he's Haitian who speaks English, grew up in the States, I don't know what sense that made, but a lot of people assumed that what he was saying was a lie, but you can confirm that it happens in the Dominican Republic. You've seen where it has happened to people that's living in the Dominican Republic, you
Yeah.
know? And
Call,
that guy, he had no reason to lie. The only reason why I allowed him to be on the show without identifying himself is for his protection, because he has to live, he has to survive where he is at. So why would I risk his life?
right. I mean, what he was saying, you know, I think that person's been on your show before and didn't go on camera. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason is he's living in the Dominican Republic, if I remember right. So
Yes.
yeah, knowing no, and there's another Haitian I talk to all the time that's there, and you know, he's a deportee. He came from the States, and we talk off and on, and he's basically telling me the same thing what everybody else is saying, how the what the what the temperature is there right now. So you know, so I understand why he didn't go on camera, and I'll probably do it too. I mean, if I, you know, if I wasn't a U.S. citizen, I got deported, so, you know, back to my home country, or I went to another third party country where you know, there was a hostile environment. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
why would I risk being on camera? That's stupid, you know, because he'll be back in a dump truck and taking over across the border too. I just can't, I'm exaggerating, you know. You know, but I just keep on picturing that dump truck with a bunch of people in it because the way they handle it, and just get to that border, that bridge, and they just roll out and you know, and then treat them like animals and send them across. See, and that's what makes that's where I got a problem with. That is
And the
just
whole process is horrible in
yeah.
reference
That I mean
towards
that
Haitians.
yeah. That
Because how
I
many
got a
of
problem with
those
that.
guys, not to be interrupted, but how many of the passport bros living in the Dominican Republic that overstay their visa? You don't hear and see them being treated that way. You don't see Americans or Europeans being chased down and being treated that way by Dominicans. But when it's a Haitian person, everybody is chasing them down and running after them.
It's all about the green man. And I'll give you another example here. I was watching a YouTube channel a couple years ago. They were talking about Mexico, and there was a lot of Americans that overstayed their visas there. Okay, in Mexico, they talked to a local. I don't know if it was a representative, somebody was a political elected person, and they were talking to somebody else too. I forget who it was. It was somebody in immigration there or something, and you know, they basically said it. They said, "Why would we go and enforce that law on Americans? They're bringing in the money. They're creating jobs for us. So there's a pass that you get if you. It's not again. It's not nationality or anything. It's about money. In other words, the Mexican government has gave Americans passes to overstay their visa for years. These guys know it's hands off Americans because they're only cutting their own throats by, deporting them. Now, if you're a Honduran or a Guatemalan or a Nicaraguan, well, you ain't really adding value to that they believe in their economy, and you get a one-way ticket back to your home country from Mexico. So again, I look at it from an economic standpoint. It just happened to be that Haiti's going to get the brunt of it because it's on an island, and that's the only place for Haitians to go on a land border. So they're going to be, coming over. So disproportionately, they're going to be a lot of Haitians that, they're going to be the one group of people that most populate, the immigrants. I mean, Americans are getting there too. I mean, there's a lot of Americans that live there, yeah, and there's guys that I know a lot of Americans that overstayed their visa. Absolutely. Are they going to enforce it? Nah. You know, I get, like I said, yeah, because they know that most Americans are bringing in money, even the poor Americans that are there. You get people on Social Security, maybe they're getting 1,700 a month. 1,700 a month, you can stay there in the Dominican Republic and live. Now, it's not going to be the greatest living that you're going to get, but you're doing better than most of the people there on 1,700. So the government there understands that much. They're going to harass Americans in different ways now, which we can talk about those horror stories. What happens to some of the Americans there? But it's more of extortion, like it is in all these other countries with Americans. But they're not deporting him because they're killing the golden goose. So, I mean, here, I'll give you another example. I go to Ghana, right? I have a 5-year visa in and out of Ghana, right? I was there 2022. They told me that when I was there, if I was staying more than 2 months, I had to get my visa updated, even though it was a 5-year in and out. I had to go to immigration, get another photo, pay some money to, go through the process, right? Now, let's just say I didn't do that. Let's just say I just said, nah, I'm not going to do any of that. I mean, that's BS, because I believe that I have a 5-year visa that I paid for. So why do I have to get it updated while I'm in the country? Now, if they caught me, now the police would never ask me for my passport or anything there. But if they did, and they told me, in the British style English, where's your information, and you didn't get it updated, they're not putting me in the back of a pickup truck and taking me off. Now, if it's a Nigerian, which I've seen that personally, the Nigerians, they'll do that in a heartbeat. Unless you got money or something, the same method. The immigration, depending where it's at and everything, they will deport you as a Nigerian. So again, why? Because they're not bringing any money into the country. In their mind, they're taking from the country, one way or the other, or taking their jobs, whatever you might want to call it, right? Me as an American, I'm not trying to get a job there. I'm investing money doing things in the country. So they know not to kill the golden goose. Yeah, regardless of how they perceive Americans, they're always going to look at the green man first. They might talk about us and say Americans are entitled, they're this, they're that, and that's fine. But they're always going to look at they always look at their own economic best interest, and that's why Americans get a pass in a lot of countries on that issue, except for Thailand.
Except for Thailand. Faith says the economy is another reason. Housing market is experiencing decline. Trucking industry has taken a hit, so the economy is playing a major role. So you mentioned that it has a lot to do about money, economy. Do you think that the Haitians are an asset or foreigners are an asset to a foreign country? And if so, what does economy have to do with the treatment, the mistreatment of a foreigner, especially of a Haitian in the DR?
Well, that's what's not acceptable. Again, everybody should be treated equal in that respect. If let's just say, for example, they want to deport American. there in Dominican Republic. Okay, they go through a certain process, put you on the plane and say, don't come back or else, right? And that's fine, but they should do the same thing, the same energy that they did with an American if they're deporting him. The process should be applicable to a Haitian as well. That's what I'm just saying, equal treatment. They're not going to put me in the back of a dump truck and then dump me in the ocean or do something and say, go swim back to the States or do whatever, put me, have some sort of mistreatment, because there's probably going to be some backlash coming and they know that, not to say it would happen, but, they would treat an American better even in a deportation situation.
MK Ultra says, actually, the migrant crisis in USA is bankrupting and destabilizing economics, security, resources for at-risk populations already experiencing a recession. It will only get worse as 20 million migrants enter. What do you think that migrants are causing a bankrupt and destabilizing the economy, especially in the United States? Guys,
Well,
don't forget to share. Don't forget to like. Please subscribe if you are new to the channel, guys.
well, it's a yes and no. It depends on where you're at on the food chain of economics. If you are, again, the CEO of Tyson Foods, which has been in the news about the very thing we're talking about, or you're an executive there, you're not being economically effective. You're actually benefiting by it, right? Now, if you're working at Tyson Foods in that plant where they laid off those workers, absolutely, you're being screwed. Now, the question is are we gonna streamline the process here instead of playing games? This is a congressional thing here in the U.S. We got to have some sort of reform and some sort of process for immigration reform here, and it really starts with the venting of people coming in, and it comes down to the judges. There's not enough judges to hear these cases, and people are here in the states for years and years
I want
without
to
even
welcome my guests
doing a
to the
hearing. So, in the meantime, they have to survive somehow. So, are we giving them work permits while they're waiting for their case? Are we going to let them just hang out in the street and sell food or steal or do whatever else? So, again, it goes down to let's just say, I'll just put myself in it. Let's just say I'm from some Latin American country. I come up through the United States. Human nature says you have to eat. If I'm not getting a work permit and I'm coming to another country, even though that came illegally, there's a process we go through here in the States, in most cases. I got to do something to eat for the day. Maybe I can get a free meal here and there, but eventually, there's other things I'm going to need that nobody's giving me because I can't work for because I don't have a permit. So now I'm going to steal, I'm going to do different things that are going to be criminal acts in order to survive. Was that person a criminal to start with? Maybe, maybe not. But we don't have a process right now to vet them out because there's so many hitting the border. We don't have any staff to screen them out like they should be. So again, this is an economic issue. There's going to be winners. There's going to be losers in this whole thing. So it depends where you're at on the food chain.
Someone says the problem is that before the Haitians started populating the DR, there was even worse police corruption and government official corruption against the Dominican population. It is still bad for Dominican civilians, imagine for illegal newcomers. Sometimes, instead of hurling stones to a country, try to understand its problem, situation, and historical influences and show both sides. But I completely understand and agree with what you are saying and your approach. Thank you so much, Monday Fantastic. Thank you so much for the comment. See, a lot of people are assuming that DR is just 3,000% better than Haiti, and that Haiti is the only one with all of the problems, and DR doesn't have a problem. But this comment shows that they already have their own issues. In addition to it, now with having all of the Haitian migrants that are illegal crossing over, I believe it agitated a situation which was already there. Do you think that race play in I want you to be honest, because some most of the time I am asking a black person, either black woman, a black man, and you are a white man. Do you think that race play a role in the treatment of Dominicans towards Haitians?
Well, I think to a certain extent, but let's find out what drives that. You gotta look below the surface, right? Let's give an example here. There was another YouTuber that it's in the Sisua area. He's from New Zealand, and he hasn't put a lot of postings up. He used to a couple years ago, and he was talking about some of the same issues. If you're a Dominican and you're working construction and you're making, let's just say, $20 a day, laying brick, just doing labor work, not really skilled per se. Now, the guy that owns this company, it's a small company. He might have had 10, 12 guys on a crew that he was working, and now this guy, he's going to be Dominican. He said, yeah, some Haitians are coming through there, and they said they'll work for $10 a day. Now, the contractor, he wants more money for himself. So what's he going to do? He's going to hire the Haitians and have them do the work, provided they can do equal work, the quality of work and everything. It's just everything else is equal. That Dominican that just got screwed out of a job because now the Haitians are doing it for less, how do you think that person's going to feel? That person's going to be lashing out, calling the Haitians all kinds of names, this and that, and that's what promotes let's just say the Dominican is mixed because most of them are biracial, in my opinion. Uh, they're going to be looking at Haitians, calling them every name in the book, but it's really a lot of that behavior really just came out of him losing his job to a Haitian. Now, is it the Haitians' fault? No, it's the Dominican boss that hired them. He's the one they should be directing the energy at. But see, we don't. They're short. The people are short-sighted. It's just like anything else, like here in the states. Somebody loses their job and a Latino, somebody from Mexico or Guatemala does it cheaper than American.
Your voice is messed up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's like really squeaky. It just changed.
Okay, I get a little closer to that thing. This is just human nature behavior.
Is something in front of your microphone?
No, can you hear me? Can you hear me better?
It changed, but I can hear you.
Okay, so let's just say an American loses their job, which I personally seen this where I grew up at because of foreign competition, right?
Maybe you might want to leave out and come back in because the voice is like.
Okay. All right, I'll do that.
Leave out and come back in.
All right, let me get back out.
Yes, guys, welcome Sporting Goods, Mercedes, Haitian Warrior King. How's it going? Marie Javier. You guys, welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Let me hear you now and see.
Testing.
Testing is better.
Okay. All right. I'll give you an example here. What I've seen personally growing up. Growing up in Eastern Ohio, we had a lot of coal mines and steel mills, right? And that covers that part, northern West Virginia, western Pennsylvania. All right. That whole region was decimated 50, 60 years ago. Okay. And it was foreign competition. Now, we didn't have the workers coming in taking the job. So what happened was a lot of those steel mills were being closed down, and manufacturing was going to Japan and Brazil. Okay, a lot of the steel production. And a lot of it was going to.
But before you get into that, let me play a quick video, okay? Let me play a quick video to show you guys something real quick.
Let me get a drink while you're doing that. Go ahead.
Well, you gotta see the video too.
Oh, okay. Well, give me a second then. Give me 1 sec.
Okay. So I'll show the video in a little bit. Let me go into the audience to hear what some of you guys are saying. Hello. Don't forget, guys, to please share the live. Probably, yeah. We're live. We share. And then, okay. So again. No, parce que beaucoup de l'autre nouvelle là, moi des mêmes nouvelles que yo pas approuvé. Yo pas approuvé. Oui. 80,000 moun et haïtien yo et simplement
Cubain, Venezuela, bagay sa yo, mais yo di kon sa ou ka reapply.
OK. Est-ce que yo ban nou même nous même qui sponsor, est-ce que yo ban nou raison pour qui ça yo pas accepter moun yo?
Eh ben, m'pa ko jamal gade, c'est monsieur seulement voye ça, ma fin n'a parlé à 2 ou 3 moun, la fin ou va l'entrer.
Eh bien, OK. Entrer pour garder pour elle, comme moun qui file pour moun nan. Yeah, pour yo di pour qui raison que yo pas qualifié. Bah là, li choquant, pile moun triste, vous comprenez? Parce que on a essayé l'espoir pour entrer.
Il a changé parce que son bail politique lié.
Eh bien, OK. Il m'a prié que li change parce que gen moun yo mérité. Eh bien, OK. Bye bye.
OK.
Oh. M'a parlé de ça, mais on nous continue parce que bah là vraiment triste pour un peu monde qui joignent que yo pas approuvé et famille yo pas approuvé pour programme Biden là, so même nous même qui te joignent approuvé a, yo te accepté nous, dit bon Dieu merci, vous comprenez? Et me toujours dit nous ça tout et pas nous tout qui ka quitter pays a. D'ailleurs, gen nous bon Dieu a béni koto ye. M konnen li une nouvelle choquant parce que le pays a traversé un moment qui très très difficile et ou besoin de secours. Ou pas qu'à la kay voisin ou senti que tout ça fait comme haïtien rien pas bon. Yes, so we were this is one of my people's calling that peoples were disapproved for the Biden program. And it's really, really sad because so many people have high hopes. So many people are hoping to reunite with their family members. And no one is really expecting that kind of sad news. And she did verify that it wasn't just Haitians. C'est pas seulement Haïtiens qui pas approuvé. Gen Cuba, gen Nicaraguan, gen Venezuelan, gen un peu moun ke yo pa approuvé. There are a lot of people that was not approved as of today. We don't know why they were not approved, but we'll continue with that. Let me play this video as you are back that was shared with me today.
No Haitians here. Did you hear this guy? Dadu, DYS English today. A guy who, you see the reason why I don't want no Haitians here. Did you hear this guy? Dadu, DYS English today. a guy who's been living in the United States for over 25 years. This is unacceptable. I'm going to send him back to Haiti as soon as I get reelected.
I'm sure a lot of people want to maybe talking about it, want to know about this. If you want somebody want to talking with you about this, sure. Do you have the number, the private or whatever it is, public number? We have some number, your number. You know, give them your.
But she can give her.
Let's go back to her because I think she's explained the things about the oil. Donc let's talking about it to know about it.
To know about
the oil.
The listing.
Yeah.
How you create the leasing? How to create the thing. Okay, so
let's talking about it.
Sure. So
you saw this bullshit.
So it's not that I agree. It's not that I agree with what's being said, but it's good to know what's being said to get a different perspective. Do you think that education is part of the reasons why so many Haitian migrants are not welcomed?
Well, again, it depends on who you're asking. If you were to ask privately the head of Tyson Foods, and knowing that conversation would never leave the room, he would say, I like all of them, because it's in his best interest and his stockholders to employ them. Oh, and by the way, the Haitians will work for $13 an hour instead of $15 that we were offering to the Latinos. Hey, bring them in. I'll take them all. So I'm exaggerating and being facetious, but the point I'm trying to make is you got to look at who you're asking to start with. If you ask somebody in Chicago, and I seen a report, I think I sent it to you a couple months back. So there's a Haitian community within Chicago. You got a lot of residents there in an uproar about having Haitians there in the city of Chicago. But again, look at the source. Those individuals that are crying about it are the low income people working low wage jobs. So again, I look at it as the money. It's all about the money. That's what's going to drive people's opinions on different issues.
This is really what is it? Do you have any last words? Any last words you'd like to share on the issue?
Well, let me go back to my story. I know we get interrupted here.
Yes.
Let's go back 50, 60 years. When these steel mills were shut down and jobs are going overseas, a lot of them are actually going to Japan. Why did this happen? It's because in the U.S. we never updated our blast furnaces. We didn't modernize those mills. All those steel mills you see along the river around Pittsburgh, going all the way through, a lot of them were never modernized because the companies were looking at short-term profits, and they just wanted to take care of the stockholders and themselves. All right, it wasn't so much the workers; it was because of that. Well, Japan always modernizes. This in their culture, they always keep up to date on technology and modernization. They modernize it. Now, what happened as a result of it? It changed. At that time, a lot of the people are dead now. And I heard this as a kid. A lot of those people have resentment towards the Japanese. They were calling them all kinds of names. If you buy a Japanese car, they were saying, and I'm not going to say exactly what was being said, that about the Japanese people, but they were saying, "Oh, you're buying a rice burner. You bought a Toyota." And it was kind of like that. It was like, it was to the point where some people were having their cars vandalized if you bought a foreign car in some of those areas. So you could tell by the resentment, but they didn't feel that way before. But as soon as their jobs were taken away and they were over in Japan, yeah, that's what started bringing out that resentment. So you can use that as an application and just apply that to a lot of these situations we're seeing right here today. Now, today, everybody's used to having foreign cars in every country. or at least in America. You don't hear that type of talk anymore. But back in 1980, 70s, oh yeah, it was there. I heard it firsthand.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Jackson. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you for your continuous love and support of life in Haiti. Enigma say Haiti is open to all well-intended citizens. Marie, but you want all Haitians to go to USA or Canada. Make it make sense. I want all Haitians to go where Haitians will not be mistreated. Because as a Haitian myself, I know and I understand that our country have been misled, and that is why a lot of Haitians are in need of refuge. So you may not understand it, but I am a product of parents that were able to travel outside of the United States and many outside of Haiti into the United States. And I'm pretty sure many of you guys watching as well. So just because we were born in different places in countries that has more opportunities, that doesn't make it we should be ungrateful and try to condemn certain people to where they cannot get a chance or sympathize and empathize with people's pain. So if my peoples are going through something, matter of fact, I don't never get on here and tell you not to do something. I share with you what can happen to you when you go and do it, and you can choose to do it. Judge me by my behavior. I know there's been incidents in the United States or anywhere in the world, there are incidents. Somebody said, why don't we talk about what happened at Texas border? That was a one-time thing. That's not an everyday thing that you see that's happening with Haitian people. And not only that, they found a way to allow a lot of Haitians to enter into the country without having to submit themselves to going through the Darien Desert. So I know social media allows many people to get on here and say what the hell they want. But let's not forget, many of us are children of foreigners. Even my siblings, you would not have had the chance or the opportunity that you guys have today to be born in American, my children to be born in American, had it not been that chance or that opportunity that allowed you to travel into America. Yes, you can say a lot about America. I've gotten on screen and talked about how America have played their role, about money in Haiti, and the result has not benefited the Haitian people. But can we really say that America have mistreated Haitians as much as Dominican Republic government have? You know, a Haitian person, Stallion, will live in the Dominican Republic for years. And when they decide to move back to Haiti, they have to have a family member to almost sponsor that return. How often you hear of a Haitian person who have lived in America for years and decide they want to move after working for so long and can retire, that they have to call you for a ticket to come back to Haiti? There are, we talk certain talks, but Haitians are offered a lot of opportunities in the United States. And I honestly feel, and you can comment on that. Thank you so much, Jean-Jean, for the $1.49 super chat. Thank you so much for the $1.49 super chat. You can comment on that, but I do feel that the United States have offered a lot towards Haitians more than Dominican Republic. That's just my opinion.
No, that you're right. You're right. But here's let's think about this for 1 minute. The United States has a lot of resources to offer immigrants. Case in point, we did a live a couple months back. We had, what was it, here in my city, and it wasn't too far from where I live actually. We had 800 and something Haitians in one apartment complex, right? In my city, we pretty much rolled out the red carpet because we don't have many Haitians here in this city. You know, our city is basically a minority group. The Mexicans are probably number one. The Somalians are number two. I mean, that's just a fact. We have a lot of Africans here in this city. So, Haitians are very small. The people from the Caribbean, there's not that many here to start with. But anyways, we rolled out the red carpet, us being people here in the city of Columbus. We gave them cell phones. We gave them a free apartment, free hotels for like 90 days. It probably was extended. Everything was under there. And I think your channel put it on there. Max Journey went on there and put some information out. And he was working right there hand in hand. So we know what it does. Now, you go to the Dominican Republic, they don't have if they wanted to, they don't have the resources to do that. Again, this is not, Dominican Republic's not the US, it's not a first world country. There's a minimum amount they can do, so from that end of it, you're going to see frustration and mistreatment because, the Dominicans are not, within that country, there's not as many people as educated as there are in the US. It's not to say the Dominicans are stupid like anybody else. There's intelligent people in every country in the world. It's just they don't have the opportunities to go to school because they don't have all the free money and the grants and so forth and so on. So this kind of elevates the frustration. Just like I made an example earlier where the contractor lays off the guy who was Dominican to hire a Haitian guy on for half the price. They're taking their job. They're economically impacted. And that brings out all the frustration, the stereotypes, and everything else that goes along with it. And I gave you an example earlier in my childhood. What I saw, I witnessed myself how people in that area view Japanese. And you can go all the way through Pittsburgh, Akron, Cleveland, Buffalo. That whole area was decimated. And a lot of people, a lot of those older people are dead now, a lot of them, but a lot of them had that resentment towards Japanese. Well, they took the jobs. They don't have no food or anything. Your standard of living is altered. You just take stabs because you can't do anything about it. So you just start taking stabs at the people that took your job, or the country in this case.
Someone mentioned for me to not go to the DR. See, you guys take it personal. And I've mentioned that it's not a personal thing. You just have to be willing to be honest with what's happening. That's like you knowing that, and this is a far example, right? But that's like you in the house and you knowing that your brother is molesting someone in that house, a child in that house. And you intentionally make all excuses because that is your brother. We have too much of that in society. That's why so many people carry so much pain throughout their life. I'm not saying that the DR don't have a right to have a stance to protect their citizens, to build a wall, to do all of that they say they want to do. They have a right to deport Haitians because Haitian people, they have the choice too. If they want to continue to go back and forth and be exploited, that's on them. But let's not be delusional to that it is happening. Let's not make fun of other people's pain because that's just to say, oh, Haiti doesn't have a gang problem because I am Haitian. Haiti don't have a political instability because I am Haitian. I can still love my country and accept its weakness without making excuses for it. If I want to go to the DR for vacation and I have my visa, I will. And if I choose not to, I won't. It doesn't have anything to do with, I'm not going to go there illegally. I can tell you that, because I am not going to put up with people beating on me and doing the things in which I've seen other people, other Haitian people have endured. That I'm not. It was a typo. Okay. Muhammad says, what the heck is this stream about? Someone please tell me. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Jackson, for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. If you are new here, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share as you come in. Don't forget, guys, the government NGO, the sporting goods. How's it going? Says true. USA have a lot of social programs if you know who to contact. There is a lot of social programs put in place for Haitians. And one of the things that I do like about the US is the fact that they do attempt to figure a way to legalize immigrants in the country and not just chase them down. And even in prison, they are not put in a dirt hole where they are treated any kind of way. So that is why, yes, a lot of people, not just Haitian people, they want to go to the U.S. But do we know that the U.S. have its disparity? Of course it does. Of course, the U.S. comes with its own set of problems. That is why when someone travels at an older age to Haiti, they need some support. They need somebody to really be there to guide them into the system that they are going into, because a lot of Haitian people seem to think that going to the U.S., that they are heading into heaven, that all of their problems they've ever encountered in life is over with and done. That's not true. The U.S. has its own set of problems. And I'm going to say it in Creole too. Parce que moi joué vidéo côté Trump t'a parlé. Let me play it again. Pour moun mwen yo. Pa bliye pou nou partager live là pendant nou abattre. Pa bliye, guys. Partager live là.
Here, did you hear this guy? You see the reason why I don't want no Haitians here? Did you hear this guy? Dadu, DYS English today. A guy who's been living in the United States for over 25 years. This is unacceptable. I'm going to send him back to Haiti as soon as I get reelected. That's for free.
Actually, a lot of people.
OK. Moi, utiliser ça parce que gen de parfois, c'est pour qu'on ait plan el mien. Parce que là où nan guerre, c'est pour qu'on ait à qui est ou nan guerre. Parce que ou pas qu'à nan guerre à n'importe gens, parce que li bon pour étudier même el mien tout, que ou pral camper en face là. C'est pas venir à gros poignet, c'est pas venir à ceci c'est l'autre bord ou ka faire ceci c'est l'autre bord, parce que c'est pour étudier el mien et ça qui en face. So pour moun yo qui voyage qui l'autre bord, ma ban nou un conseil qui déjà là dans programme Biden. You know pi gros bagay moi a encourager nous pour nous faire c'est aller l'école. Ou qui nous pas jamais parler anglais, on nous dit et ça c'est pas intéressant, OK, là moi dit ça. Parce que petit ou a parler le même genre et pe moun pareil moi parce que Depuis là, nous petits, nous allons à l'école aux États-Unis. Nous faisons toutes études nous aux États-Unis. D'ailleurs, nous avons parlé langue vraiment facile parce que c'est là nous étudions. Mais ou même qui entre, on nous dit, ou dans l'âge 25, 30, 40, 45, qui même gain plus. Faites tout ça que vous capable pour aller à l'école. Moi dis comme ça que dans 2 ans que yo bay pendant nous pas connaît parce que ou pas connaît qui est qui est président ou gen de bagay nous pas connaît. D'ailleurs si c'est pour moi dis c'est pour yo ban nous chance pour nous gagner résidence. Et m'a souhaité que nous continuer béni pays d'Haïti. Yon nan pi gros bagay que nous ka fait pour tête nous pendant nous l'autre bois et pas juste chita parler créole tout le temps avec zami. C'est pas chita à parler à faire tout bagay ou en créole ou besoin monde qui pour traduire pour tout bagay. Meto gen mare rien pour ka vini entrer dans système pays pour ka apprendre de série de bagay. Parce que nous tenons que ça sorti dans bouche, on est qui arrive président encore Trump, d'ailleurs, on connaît tout le monde sur la terre qu'on est Trump. Li bon, si que nous apprenons pour nous parler langue mounio et pour nous voir si nous ka fait tout ça nous capable pour nous gagner un bon comprendre. C'est ça que fait ici. Moi, je travaille pour nous ouvrir l'école. Et dans l'école là, c'est pour moi montrer chaque classe, chaque jour, pour yo parler anglais. Gagne peine nous fait intéressant à français, c'est frère un bel bagarre ou parler français. Mais m'a dit au français vraiment pas menon loin quand on voulait aller. Espagnol ka menon plus loin que français, mais anglais que n'importe côté tomber ou ka tomber Canada. Ou ka tombe n'importe côté de pour parler anglais, c'est une langue universelle. Fait tout ça ou capable utiliser ressources que yo offri aller l'école. Bay tête ou chose ça. Pas honte parce que aux États-Unis son pays ou ka graduer à n'importe l'âge, pas occuper moun. Même là, tu as 40 ans et en Haïti, ou pas vraiment même qu'à écrire non, ça son bagay en peine nous en grand dans ça. Nous pas qu'à faire bagay, mais nous pas voulons admettre, semble nous penser moun a pris nous, moun a c'est pas réalité, c'est pas pour moun. Pas que, pas tendez ça l'autre moun a dit. Bay tête ou chance là. Apprendre pour faire de séries de bagailles pour que ou ka même les que on nous dit ça pi mal la ka passé côté yo dit après 2 ans ou après retourner à Haïti mais ou pas retourner même monde qui t'est déplacé j'ai pral ouvert ou pral gagner ou intelligence et là tout ou pral ouais c'est monde pareil nous qui pourrait commencer à avancer avec pays sans l'autre gens, qui pourrait commencer à jeu ouvert pour nous comprendre que Haïti c'est pays nous. Et si que tout l'autre pays ça yo ka fait belle bagaille dans pays nous-mêmes nous ka fait le tout parce que même dans l'école là on parle un comportement un professeur parce que me connais un pile professeur qui allait dans le programme Biden là. Il y a un pile infirmière qui allait dans le programme Biden, qui ne parfois visiter l'hôpital pour voir qui gens que infirmière comportait tête yo, qui gens que yo aimé pep yo. D'ailleurs, on a toujours joué une graine qui passe si c'est l'autre bord, mais là c'est temps pour jouir ressources que le pays a offert, que vous pas jouer ni Saint-Domingue. Ou pas t'a joindre ni vraiment l'autre côté. Mon a fâché que me dit ça, d'ailleurs, c'est vérité pam, et m'a campé sous lui. Il y a des ressources ou joindre aux États-Unis, ou pas jamais joindre ni Saint-Domingue. Yo m'a dit ça, yo vle. Parce que m'pas ouais m'a joindre vidéo, pas jour côté haïtien pour y a maltraité haïtien. Si nous joignons tout, nous ka partager la vem à n'importe l'heure, comprenez? Mais pour bon nous update, nous avons gen pile monde qui joine mauvaise nouvelle dans bagay Biden nan. Moi connais que gen famille qui triste. Moi connais gen monde qui vraiment triste en Haïti. Moi-même, moi pas connais pour qui raison. Et d'ailleurs, comme moi dis, yo pas vraiment besoin de nous une raison. Parce que en pile bagay là et bagay politique. Et c'est nous-mêmes, nos sens qui viennent souffrir. Ça, c'est exemple de tout ça que m'a dit, ouais, Haïti est pour nous lier. Ouais, y vinn prendre tout le monde, yo comportement nous, c'est pour les changer dans le pays. Parce que le pays, c'est pour nous lier. Nous, c'est Haïtiens. Tout le monde mette spray sur l'autre monde qui peut venir sauver nous. Nous tous mettons espoir nous et pendant moi dit ça c'est pas dim pas vle pour nous voyager non d'ailleurs moi dit nous moi vle pour nous voyager d'ailleurs ça c'est rêve moi pour un peu moun voyager sortir dans pays pour yo vinn ouais comportement moun qui a fait pays mais qui montre nous là pendant nous chita et nous penser que nous pral voler et nous pral virer de nous et puis nous pral quitter pays d'Haïti. Et c'est appel dans WhatsApp pour demander comment la passer Haïti. C'est nous-mêmes qui pour mettre pied nous devant, suspendre la gefatra dans le pays. Et si bagay simple comme ça, pour nous ka, ouais, si demain, si Dieu veut, ou ka vle ou pour un visa ou al visiton un côté, mais pour moun yo pas vin paix pour dire comme ça que ce pays yo vin prend. Yari, tout était que nous tendez que y a dit de Haïtien. Prends courage. Si vous pas approuvé, d'ailleurs, c'est pas de chance. Combien de monde qui approuvé dans Biden, ils ont appliqué plusieurs fois pour joindre visa. Ils ont appliqué plusieurs fois pour joindre l'autre aide. Et yo pas de jambe joindre. Qui t'a tant résidence pour un pile temps qui pas de jambe joindre. Mais là, yo joine chance yo à Biden. Moi, viens apprendre dans la ville, on porte fermé. Ou ap joine l'autre qui ouvre quand même. Même là que ou pas gain espoir. Nos pays en pile nous vinn décourager. D'ailleurs, moi connais parce que moi c'est haïtienne. 100% haïtienne. Un monde qui gagne doit penser m'ba haïtienne. Non, moi c'est haïtienne. Et moi comprendre douleur peuple haïtien. Mais combat n'a pas fini. C'est pour gagner la vie continue. Et m'a souhaité que jeunesse là, ça c'est courage pour nous rester sous bord droite là dans le pays. Pour nous connaître que il y a des décisions nous fait qui en face nous, en face pays nous. Pour qu'on est là pour chita, pour coucher dans cabane. Jamaïcain dit ou fait cabane nan pour nous aller ou même qui pour aller coucher là-dedans. Si nous fait cap suivre moi pas oublier pour nous abonner avec channel là et pour nous suivre channel là et pas oublier pour nous buy live là on like. Prends courage avec tout le monde, courage tout avec monde qui file pour monde qui te attend moun yo pour yo venir aux États-Unis. Bon Dieu a fait route. Il nous a ça pas de travail ou pas connaître. Mais c'est pas vle dire que bagay la pas marcher. C'est pas vle dire que pas gain bon Dieu pas gain un plan pour vous. Parce que gain de bagay qui passe dans la vie ou pas comprendre ni. Gain de parfois ou fait plan. Mais c'est bon Dieu vraiment qui fait route pour vous. Comprendre, gagne parfois aller nous pour nous faire route pour tête pas nous et bon Dieu ouais, c'est pas vraiment ça qui bon pour nous. Et me connaît li difficile pour dire au monde en Haïti que yo pas approuvé. Gagne même petit monde qui t'attend, bagay la vraiment triste. Comprendre? So prends courage peuple. So I was telling them about not being approved in the program, and for them to be courageous. And there are other places, gen l'autre côté tout que nous capable voyager. There are other places Haitians can go. Jeff Noel says, I love Biden. Marie, life in Haiti, c'est pas langue qui problème là, c'est mentalité. I understand that too. Je comprends l'autre dit c'est pas langue qui problème. Non, mais sou pral voyager l'autre bord, li bon, tout le monde dit li bon pour parler anglais. Et anglais, c'est un bagay ou ka commencer à apprendre ni là. C'est pas simplement utiliser téléphone pour nous dans TikTok pour nous dire si c'est l'autre bord. Il y a des bagay ou ka apprendre tout avec téléphone et anglais c'est une. Do you think that kids learning English here before traveling or to travel not only to the United States, anywhere, because a lot of the guys that speak English, women and men that move to the Dominican Republic, you're seeing that they're really, really quiet. They're not having a problem and they're not being a target. That's one thing people don't talk about. Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, that's goes back to the money. It simply does. Think about this. And I know this from the a Haitian I know that's over in the DR right now. His English is perfect. He lived a lot of his life in the United States, okay, or a portion of it. You know, they got American companies down there, call centers, right? Now, who would they like to have? They would like to have me in there. I'd be the best candidate, to work in a call center in the Dominican Republic or in these other countries, whether I'm at the ground level or supervisor or something like else. I got a perfect hang on English, reading and writing and so forth, right? But if you can speak write and read English, that's the qualifying factor. Those guys are getting work permits to work in those places, Haitians as well as anybody else that can pass the English test. So from that end of it, there's a little bit of protection because of that, because they're working in there and they got permits and everything. So why would the Dominican government, they would only be screwing themselves if they have somebody has a work permit that's working in a U.S. center that the U.S. company had paid the government there in order to get it issued. Why would the Dominican Republic target them? They're only screwing themselves. You see, it's all about the money. It's about the money. It's at the end of the day. And I know this from my friend. He's working one right now. Now does he feel some of the ramifications what goes on around him? Absolutely. But is he getting put back on the back of a dump truck, taken over across that bridge that separates Haiti and the Dominican Republic at the border crossing? Nah. So it's economic.
Yeah, it really is. Raymond says 100. Thank you, Raymond.
This, not to interrupt, but Haitians, I pulled up that list I sent to you before. There's countries you can go visa free from Haiti. You get a Haitian passport. South Korea is one of them. South Korea is not a poor country. There's opportunities there. It catches, you get there, you're going to have to learn Korean, the language. But again, if you just speak Creole and don't know English in the United States, you're going to have to learn English. So I mean, it's as equal, just learn a different language. What I'm saying is, if you think outside the box, there's other countries to go to that that would provide a better life other than crossing over to the Dominican Republic if they had to choose one. I think Singapore was on that list too, if I remember right. That was another country. I think Israel, even though there's stuff going on there, Israel's not it's not a third world country. There's opportunities even in Israel, to work. So it's just that America is not the end all. If you can't come to America and the DR is too much BS, there is other options to go to. But we're not. But I don't know how many people do the research and look at it. But there's other places you can go to, and it's visa free. You only need a visa.
That's true. Mais c'est à dire l'autre côté, nous ka aller, vous comprenez que ou pas besoin visa. C'est pas seul aux États-Unis que moun ap vive parce que en pile fois nous pensons que c'est seul aux États-Unis moun ka vive et gen en pile moun aux États-Unis qui voulait quitter aux États-Unis parce que yo vin wè que avec trop bill, trop ceci c'est l'autre bord aux États-Unis vin stress yo en pile. We'll do this again. I was gonna hit on another topic, but we'll do this again. I want to tell you thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you come and spend some time and share your knowledge. Any last words?
Oh, let's make sure that I get to see Nuke. Nuke is my hero.
Okay, I'll send you a picture of Nook today.
Okay, you do that. You do that. That's your payment to me today.
Okay, thank you so much. You have a good one.
All right, take care. All right.
You too. Yes, guys. Moi remercie nous. I just want to thank you guys so much. Just wanted to come on today a little bit earlier. I have some things scheduled for later on today. Stay encouraged and be encouraged. If you are one that your family members wasn't approved or did not get too good news, let's not be discouraged. Things have happened in my life. People have walked out of my life that I thought was an end all for me, that I just absolutely could not live without them, or things that I wanted to happen, especially with life in Haiti, that didn't happen, was very, very devastating for me, right? But in the end, God showed me who He is. And He showed me that that was my plans for myself. That was my plans for life in Haiti. But those wasn't His plans. So just be encouraged and encourage them to know that this is not the end. Because believe me, there are a lot of depressed people in the country today because they have been waiting. Some been waiting for a year. Some been waiting for months. Some been waiting a little bit over a year to get news that they are not approved, especially at a time where Haiti is going through what it is going through. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys. I hope that you have hit the subscribe button. Please share the live. Leave me a comment. There is no hate, guys, but it is what it is. When something is happening in reference towards Haitians, it's a pleasure to be able to bring light to the stage. It's a pleasure to be able to use my audience to make my voice heard for the Haitian people. It's another bigger pleasure to be able to make a difference in my community in Haiti, for the Haitian people. So thank you so much, guys. Until next time, be kind to one another. Tell somebody you love them, guys. We don't know the time we have left. So appreciate the people in our lives. You guys have a blessed day. Purple Pill. Welcome, Marie Javier, Haitian Warrior King. Love you all. Love everyone. Until next time, guys.